Good day, everyone, to the organizers, guests, and fellow presenters and educators. I am Cheryl Ruiz Garcia, Master Teacher 2 from Cabcaben Elementary School, Division of Bataan. The title of my study, Status and Challenges on the Implementation of Learning Continuity Plan in Public Elementary Schools. The outbreak of COVID-19 has greatly affected the different sectors of the government. One of the most badly affected sectors is the Department of Education all over the world. At the onset of the pandemic, classes were shut down as early as March 2020. Classes only resumed last October 5, 2020. To eliminate the education catastrophe, the Department of Education in our country has answered the call of UNESCO through the implementation of the Learning Continuity Plan that mandates the use of different modalities, such as distance learning, face-to-face set with a class composed of 15 students, blended learning, and the modular approach. Since the means to be used in the delivery of quality education in the new normal are new to all the educators, specifically in the use of the learning management system by the school's division of Bataan. Educators have a boatload of questions on these modalities, especially in the use of e-learning. With this modality in mind, a research gap was made. The study was conducted in the light of better teaching modalities that can be used in times of emergencies. Specifically, the study aims to answer the following. What is the demographic profile of respondents in terms of age and designation? Are the teachers and school administrators familiar with the Learning Continuity Plan of SDO Bataan for the school year 2020-2021? What are the teachers and school administrators' definition of the Learning Continuity Plan? Are the teachers and school administrators familiar with the learning management system that will be used by the school's division of Bataan during the new normal setup? Is there a significant difference in the perception of teachers and school administrators about the implementation of the learning management system under the Learning Continuity Plan for the school year 2020-2021 in terms of current status of the Philippine education system in terms of readiness in delivering milk using different modalities, guidelines in the implementation of learning modalities during the new normal, proper information dissemination about the learning management system, use of the learning modalities for synchronous and asynchronous meetings, provisions of learners' materials, guidelines on how to conduct synchronous and asynchronous meetings, reskilling of teachers for new normal, and knowledge of the use of e-learning platforms. Based from the standpoints of teachers and school administrators of SDO Bataan, what are the possible challenges that may be encountered upon the implementation of these learning modalities during the new normal? What solutions can be suggested to address these problems if ever that they have encountered them during the actual implementation in the school year 2020-2021. The study utilizes a quantitative research methodology. Data was obtained through the use of research-made questionnaire. Respondents are composed of elementary teachers and school administrators from the 1st and 2nd District of Bataan. The number of respondents was computed using the G-power analysis. The total computed sample is 328, composed of 66 participants for sample size 1, the administrators, and 262 for sample size 2, the teachers. For a clearer presentation, the results are divided into 8 parts. A. Demographic profile of the respondents. B. Familiarity of teachers and the school administrators on the learning continuity plan. C. Definition of teachers and school administrators on the learning continuity plan. D. The familiarity of teachers and school administrators on the learning management system. E. Familiarity on the different learning modalities and the respondents' preferences for the most suited learning modalities during the affirmity. F. Standpoints of teachers and school administrators in terms of the current situation of the Philippine education system in terms of readiness for opening the school year 2020-2021. G. Possible challenges that may be encountered upon the implementation of the learning modalities as perceived by the teachers and school administrators. H. Suggested possible solutions to perceived challenges. Demographic profile of respondent. The demographic profile of the respondent as described in terms of age and designation. Figure 1 and Figure 2 show the percentage of the teachers and school administrators who participated in the survey. Figure 1 respondents' age bracket. Figure 1 revealed that the bulk of educators and school administrators age ranged from 36 to 40 years old and followed by the age bracket of 45 to 40 years old. The least number of participants found to be from the age of 20 to 25. Figure 2, respondents' designation. In the case of the study, the allocation ratio between the school administrators is 1:4. Thus, we have 66 school administrators and 262 teachers as participants for the study. Figure 2 implied that 79.88% of the respondents are composed of teachers, while the remaining 20.12% have consisted of school administrators. Aside from that, the graph showed that the majority of teachers participants have Teacher 3 designation. The mandate of DepEd Order No. 12, Series of 2020 is the answer of the Department of Education to the call of UNESCO in preventing illiteracy in the future. The graph on the right side shows the percentage of the teachers and administrators' knowledge about the Learning Continuity Plan. 97% of the respondents are aware of the Learning Continuity Plan of the DepEd and SDO Bataan, apart from 3% of the total population is unaware of the said mandate. Part of the Learning Continuity Plan is the use of learning management system. When the respondents were asked about the learning management system, 94.5% of 328 respondents said that they are familiar with the learning management system. The figure shows that 0.09% of 328 respondents are not familiar with the learning modalities. Among the given modalities, the majority of the respondents considered the modular approach as the most appropriate learning modality. For the standpoint of the teachers and school administrators in terms of the current situation of the Philippine education system in terms of readiness for opening of the school year 2020-2021, 83 out of 328 respondents believe that COVID-19 pandemic had paralyzed the duties and responsibilities of the employees in the Department of Education. 236 out of 328 educators think that opening classes during the affirmity are not applicable at present. As shown in the previous charts, the results show that there is no significant difference in the perception of elementary teachers and school administrators in terms of the readiness of the Philippine government and the Philippine education system in opening the classes for the school year 2020-2021. There is no significant difference in the perception of elementary teachers and school administrators about understanding the guidelines in the implementation of learning modalities during the new normal. There is no significant difference in the perception of elementary teachers and school administrators about the proper information dissemination of the learning management system. There is no significant difference in the perception of elementary teachers and school administrators on the use of the learning modalities for the synchronous and asynchronous meetings. There is no significant difference in the perception of elementary teachers and school administrators regarding the provisions of learners' materials. There is no significant difference in the perception of elementary teachers and school administrators about the importance of guidelines on how to conduct the synchronous and asynchronous meetings. There is no significant difference in the perception of elementary teachers and school administrators on the importance of reskilling the teachers as preparation for the new normal education setup. There is no significant difference in the perception of elementary teachers and school administrators on the knowledge on the use of e-learning platforms. Here are the possible challenges that may be encountered upon the implementation of the learning modalities as perceived by the teachers and school administrators. Based on the graph, educators perceive the lack of internet connection and gadgets as the utmost problems that will be rampant in the upcoming school year 2020-2021. Here are the perceived educational blights and the possible solutions. And for the conclusion, the majority of the participants belong to 36 to 40 age brackets. Most of them have Teacher 3 designation. SDO Bataan has informed the teachers and school administrators comprehensively since 97% of the respondents are familiar with the Learning Continuity Plan. The elementary teachers and school administrators view the Learning Continuity Plan as the clear guidelines in delivering the most essential learning competencies during the pandemic. Teachers and school administrators must update on the learning management system. The different learning modalities are well disseminated with the teachers and school administrators. The perception of teachers and school administrators regarding the readiness of the Department of Education and the Philippine government in opening the classes for the school year 2020-2021 are the same. The respondents believe that the opening of the school year is too risky for the entire Philippine populace. Among the identified problems, the lack of gadgets and internet connection are considered as the toughest challenges that the education sector will face in the upcoming school year. Respondents suggested that educators should look for learning modalities that will not use gadgets and connections. They also stressed that the national government and LGUs should be top for upgrading the connectivity even to the remote areas of the country. And for the recommendation, capacitate the younger generations of teachers to be participative in the delivery of milk to the students and be aware of the mandates in the Department of Education. Reach the remaining 3% of teachers who are not aware of the Learning Continuity Plan of DepEd and School Division of Bataan. The provision of gadgets and laptops can be a means in addressing the problem of the implementation of synchronous and asynchronous distance learning. Continuous training and seminar for teachers and school administrators about the learning management system will produce effective and efficient teachers and school administrators. End to end, I am very much grateful to the organizer of this event for reviewing and have my paper accepted and be presented in this prestigious academic conference. This is a big step for the objectives of this study to be heard and be realized by those who are in authority, to hear the silent or unsung cries of the teachers, or at least consider the recommendation. Once again, isang mapagpalang araw sa ating lahat. Thank you for listening. God bless us all.